Good morning, students. A very warm, very warm welcome to you on such a hot day in our province. My name is Shelley Donnelly. I'm the academic leader for teaching and learning for the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, which is your new home school. And I just want to introduce you to my colleagues. We've got Dr. Michelle Hatch here. She is taking over from me in a month's time when I retire. And Ms. Aarti Algu as well. She's been assisting me in the last few years, and she'll continue to assist in the school and help look after all of you. So we're very happy to be with you here this morning. I'm just going to share my screen now. So as I said, a very warm welcome to the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. Now, every student who comes to the university has a home school, and it's very important that you know what your home school is. And if you're a BCom Accounting or a Bachelor of Business Science student, we are your home school, the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. If you happen to be here and you're a BCom General student, even if you take accounting as one of your majors or economics or finance, we're not your home school, okay? You belong to the School of Management, IT and Governance, and I know that they are addressing their students next. So BCom Accounting, either mainstream or foundation, and Bachelor of Business Science, either in investment science or finance, we are your home school. And as I said before, a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm going to be addressing the Bachelor of Commerce and Accounting students first, and then we'll move on to business science as well. Most of our students are BCom Accounting students, and most of you have got this dream and you want to be a chartered accountant. Am I right? Lots of shows of hands and hearts. Yes. We hope it's for the right reasons, and it's not just you've got this idea that you're going to be making lots of money one day, or because your parents are forcing you to do it. But welcome to the long road that is the road to becoming a chartered accountant. This is the first step. The degree for you to study is the Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting. So this is what the road looks like for you. Here you are in your first year. You're going to get through your first year, your second year, your third year. Then you're going to do the 1-year PGDA, which is the postgraduate diploma in accounting. And all of these 4 years will be here at UKZN. Then you start your articles, which are for 3 years. And at the beginning of those, you're going to write your CTA exams. Sorry, you're going to write your ITC exams. And during that 3-year period, you're also going to write the APC exams. And once you've finished the 3 years and successfully completed the 2 sets of exams, you will proudly be able to have the word CASA next to your name. So it's a 7-year in all long journey. But without these highly skilled individuals, most companies wouldn't know exactly what was going on in their businesses. Chartered accountants oversee all of a company's accounting needs. They also focus on specific areas such as auditing, financial accounting, management accounting, or tax. And they may act as consultants on financial matters, tax, accounting, computer systems, estate planning, management reporting and procedures. So you're not just going to necessarily be an auditor one day. There's a very wide scope that will be open to you. Now, I don't want to put you off, but it's a tough 7 years. The BCom Accounting itself is a very challenging course. You need to hit the ground running from day one. You need to get help the minute you hit a stumbling block. And we're going to speak a little bit about all the support that we do offer, and I'm sure you're hearing a lot about that this week as well. But the harder you work in your undergraduate and the better you do in your modules, the more prepared you will be for your postgraduate diploma in accounting year, and therefore, in turn, the better you'll be prepared for those sets of exams to come. So it's a very rewarding outcome at the end of it, but it's not a piece of cake, and you've got to be prepared to really knuckle down and work hard, which I'm sure you are all looking forward to. So I'm just going to go through the first year curriculum, because that's what's obviously your concern right now. And the nice thing about this program is it's very structured, so it's not that confusing in terms of what you select. You're going to go online and select your modules. There are 5 in semester 1 and 5 in semester 2. So the 5 semester 1 modules are Accounting 101, Economics 101, which is a microeconomics introductory course, Math 130, which is Introduction to Calculus, Stat 130, Introduction to Statistics, and ISTN, which is Information Systems and Technology for Business. That's your first semester lineup. Second semester, you'll do sort of the other halves of these. So it'll be Accounting 102. And you need to note that you cannot do Accounting 102 in semester 2 if you don't pass Accounting 101 in semester 1. So it's really important from the word go to pass this major. Economics 101 is not a prerequisite for macroeconomics, Econ 102, but it is a prerequisite for the second year economics module in the second semester. This Maths 130 is an important prerequisite. You have to get at least 40% for it and pass Stat 130 to be able to do Stat 140 in the second semester and Finance 201 and Finance 202 in your second year. So those 2 modules are important as well. Information Systems and Technology, you don't need the first semester module to be able to do the second semester module. Here it is, Development and Applications Fundamentals. But you do have to have both ISTN 101 and 103 if you want to do your second year elective in Information Systems. You do have another choice. It'll be an elective in Information Systems, or it'll be an elective in Stats. If you want to do the Stats elective in your second year, you have to have passed Stat 140 in your first year. And if you want to do the IS&T elective in your second year, you have to have passed both IS&T 101 and 103 in the first year. Okay, so to get back to the second semester, then it's your second semester of Accounting 102. It's macroeconomics, it's statistical methods, it's Development and Applications Fundamentals, which is your Information Systems module. And then literally the only choice is between academic literacy in English or Zulu, basic isiZulu language skills. Now, who does what? We often get this question, and students often don't know which of the 2 to pick. Firstly, if you did isiZulu in matric, either as your first or second language, you will not do it at university. You are exempt, and you will pick the academic literacy in English module. Secondly, if you are an Nguni home language speaker, even if you didn't do isiZulu in matric, you are also exempt by virtue of the fact that it's one of your home languages, or close to one of your home languages. You too are exempt and will do academic literacy in English. Everybody else will choose the Zulu module. Okay, so who's going to do the Zulu module? If you didn't do isiZulu in matric and you are not an Nguni home language speaker, you will do Zulu. If you did do isiZulu in matric, or you're an Nguni home language speaker, you will do the academic literacy and English module. Does that make sense? Okay, so just make sure right now in your mind, you know which of those two you have to pick. Great, I'm seeing lots of thumbs ups. And that's literally the only choice you have this year. Everything else is structured. You have to select those modules. You will select all 10 of them now. Mid-year, if you failed any of the prerequisites, the first semester modules, you'll have to withdraw from the second semester modules in the middle of the year. But for now, you're going to select all 10 of them. And you're also going to have to select the EDSJ module, which I hope you've been told about. It's a gender-based violence module that all students from last year must take in their first year. You can select to do it in either semester 1 or 2. So you can decide. It's a non-credit bearing module. So it doesn't count for any credits. It's an extra, but you do have to complete it before you can graduate at the other end. So all of these modules you'll see have 16 credits. Total credits for your first year, 160. The ESTJ module that you're going to be doing does not bear any credits, but it has to be done, and you need to select that as well in either semester. Okay, so it's a full first year, 5 modules. Make sure when you select your timetables, you select all of your modules in different timetable blocks. I know that you're going to be learning all about how to do that this week as well, if you haven't already. There is no reason for any of your modules to clash. They have been specifically designed that way. The only time you're going to run into clash issues is next year if you are trying to carry some first year modules and do them together with your second year modules. But I just wanted to reiterate how important it is that you work really, really hard, because 5 modules per semester is challenging enough. And in your second year, you've also got to do 5 modules per semester. So you can't be carrying modules from your first year through to your second year. There's no wriggle room for you. And your third year has got 4 modules per semester, but they're incredibly tough modules. So you also don't want to be carrying any modules through to that year. So there's very little margin for error. So that's why it's just really important to hit the ground running this year and keep up the momentum throughout. Really put your all into your modules, and you will be absolutely fine. Okay, so that's all about your registration. I hope you're clear in your mind what you have to do. The other thing I just wanted to talk a little bit about, and Ms. Algu is actually an expert in this area, just about the professional qualifications and career opportunities. If you do want to be an accountant, by definition, someone who solves a problem you didn't know you had in a way you don't understand, which obviously is not the official definition. It's just a fun one. Accountants, as you know, have got all sorts of different names: number crunchers, bean counters. They get a bad rap for being boring people, but it can be a very, very interesting job, compiling, analyzing, performing audits, assisting with budgets, working out taxes, reporting findings to management. So it doesn't have to be boring at all. And you'll have a wide range of diverse career paths to choose from once you qualify as an accountant. You don't have to go into auditing. You can carve out a career for yourself in commerce and industry, and corporate finance, forensic accounting, cost accounting, tax. And these are just a couple of the acronyms that will be thrown around during your years of study if you don't know about them already. SAICA is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. They approve our program content. They review our program content and the way that we go about business. on a regular basis to make sure that we always have that psycho accreditation, so that you can be assured after you've studied here at UKZN that your qualification is to the highest standards and it has psycho approval at the end of the day. There's also an institute called the South African Institute of Professional Accountants, where you it's a different body, not the CASA body, but it's a different body that you can also find out about along the way. You might want to branch off into management accounting, in which case there is a Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, which is an international body, and its members are certified management accountants. So there's some others here that you will find out a lot about along your journey. So it's not only about being an internal auditor. You can be a management accountant, tax specialist, a financial accountant, a forensic auditor, as I said, a business advisor, an external auditor. You can go into banking, or what this country really needs is you can be an entrepreneur. So it's auditors that examine the financial statements of a company or of an organization, and they have to rubber stamp or give the assurance that the records produced by the accountants are a true reflection of the financial state of the business. And they also have to certify that that financial information is error-free and hasn't been misrepresented. This third-party assurance is vital to various stakeholders of a company. But as I said, there's so much more than internal audit to the qualification that you're embarking upon today. I don't have to tell you what the entrance requirements are, but if anybody is listening who didn't quite meet the entry requirements for BCom C or Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting, you cannot at any stage apply or successfully switch to this qualification if you don't already meet the matric requirements. So no matter what you study next, it doesn't matter. You've got to meet these matric requirements to be studying a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting. So it's core maths at level 5, it's English and LO at level 4. Your points, excluding life orientation, have to be 32. So I'm just reiterating here. You have to have met these requirements to be able to study the BCom Accounting at UKZN. And without them, you may not enter at any point going forward either. Okay, so we need to make that perfectly clear. Obviously, the foundation program, which is available to quintiles 1 to 3 school or scholars, the matric requirements are a bit lower, but these are the mainstream entry requirements. Okay, so that's the BCom Accounting, and we're very excited that you've embarked upon this journey with us at UKZN, and we wish you absolutely everything of the best. For those of you who are studying a Bachelor of Business Science, welcome to you as well. We have 2 programs. We have the finance program, the BBSCF. Most of our students enroll in and graduate from this program. Note that we did used to have an economics program that has been discontinued, and we're not taking any new entries into that from this year. Excuse me. And then our newest business science program is the investment science, and we're very excited about this one, and it's growing in popularity. This is the BBSCI, where you major in finance and statistics. So whilst UKZN doesn't have an actuarial science program anymore, this is the closest that you could come to it, and our graduates can get exemptions from some of the actuarial science board exams from the modules that they do here at UKZN. Now, it's an honours qualification, honours level qualification. It's 4 years, full-time, offered only at Westville. And the matric entry requirements are a little bit higher. Core maths at level 6, English and LO at level 4, and the minimum points excluding life orientation are 33. And as I said, it's an honours equivalent qualification, so your next step after this would be a master's qualification. Your 4th year is essentially an honours year. The first year is generic to all business science programs, whether you're doing the BBSc-F or the BBSc-I. You do 2 modules of accounting, and here it will give you a choice between accounting 102 and 103. My strong recommendation is that you do 103. 102 really is for our BCom accounting students who are carrying on with accounting beyond first year. 103 would be a lot more useful to you business science students. I would suggest that you select that one. 2 economics modules, 1 in each semester, Econ 101 and 102. 2 maths modules, Math 130, which is Introduction to Calculus, and Math 140, which is Calculus and Linear Algebra. 2 stat modules, 130, which is an Introduction, and 140, which is Statistical Methods, and 1 IS&T Information Systems and Technology module in the first year. And the second year, you do our capstone module, which we're very proud of at UKZN, called Integrated Business Studies, FINA 103. BCom accounting students, you'll do this amazing module in your second year. If you've got any questions about that, Dr. Hatch is the coordinator of that module, and she'll be happy to go into that in a little bit more detail. So you two have got 10 modules to complete this semester. For business science and investment science students, the very important ones are the maths and the stats. You must pass those in your first year to be able to proceed to your maths and your stats modules at second year. Maths and stats is also important prerequisite for finance 201 and 202, which all of you do in your second year. And economics 101 is the prerequisite for economics 202 next year, and econ 102 this year is a prerequisite for first semester economics next year. Okay, so first year is very important because of all those prerequisites going forward. And it's a very good idea that both cohorts of students, whether you are BCom accounting or business science, you need to know your curriculum. I've just showed you the first year, but it's very important that you also study the College of Law and Management Studies handbook, where you will see the whole curriculum set out. Ask about your prerequisites. I'm happy to take hands if they're coming up. I see that Mohammed, you've raised your hand. You may speak. And Corona. If you've got questions pertaining to what I'm talking about right now, feel free to unmute yourselves and speak.
Hello.
Yes, who's that? Sorry.
Lishomo.
Yes,
Richard.
go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask, in 2023, I did my matric in 2023, but did not qualify for BCom accounting because I got level 4. Then in 2024, I then upgraded my matric result. So right now I got level 5 in mathematics. I qualify for the BCom accounting 3-year stream. However, I've been admitted for 4-year foundation. So I don't know if it is possible for me to change. I want to change to the mainstream.
Do you have 32 matric points?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure why you were admitted to the foundation program. You're going to have to find that out. Did you apply for the mainstream?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I did apply for the mainstream. However, I got rejected because I got rejected because I do not yet qualify. I wrote on November. I wrote I upgraded on November and I got my result in January.
Right, and
So
then
I
you
got
applied
rejected
for what?
around June. So before I applied for BCom accounting, the mainstream, and the 4-year program. But before
You
that,
applied
I
for
did
the
not
4-year
qualify.
program.
Yes, ma'am.
Why
So
did
I
you
want to
apply for
change.
the 4-year program?
I applied for because I had to select 2 choices the time I was paying. So I selected the 4-year program and the 3-year program,
Okay.
BCom accounting.
I don't know if it's too late, but you're going to have to try and see if you can do a change of mind with the college office. At this late stage, it might not be possible, but you can certainly try. But speak to your mentor about who to contact at the college office, because they deal with those kinds of things. Sorry, I just want to
Yeah.
I only want to take questions for now pertaining to the syllabus that I'm talking about right this minute. In other words, the business science syllabus. So if anyone's got a question about that. Okay, moving
There's
on.
no hands,
Yes.
Shelley, so I guess we can move right along.
I can continue.
Yes, you may.
Okay, we are going to get to a point at the end where we'll open the floor for questions. Okay, so what sort of careers are you heading for if you do a business science qualification? I'm not going to go through each of these in detail, but you can be a financial manager or an investment manager, either in the private or the public sector, at a bank or an insurance company. You can be self-employed, for example, as a financial and investment consultant, a stockbroker. As an investment manager, you'll manage an investor's finances and their portfolios, try and make them money. And again, you can work at a large institution such as a bank or a trust company or a life insurance company. So you're in the right place or studying the right degree if that is where you see yourself one day. Investment analysts are responsible for providing market information, so financial market information to their clients. They analyze financial statements and projections. If you're a very accurate person that pays good attention to detail, this would be a good one for you, particularly if you've got strong analytical skills and good research skills. If you're interested in a career in banking, you're also studying the right qualification. Accuracy is very, very important here again, and attention to detail, strong analytical skills, and good research skills, as I said before. Whilst you don't major in your 4th year in economics, you can do it up to 3rd year. So you could become an economist. Economists, as you know, these are the people that describe, analyze, and advise on things like tax or wage problems, economic policies, the causes of unemployment and inflation, and so on. And business economists study the ways that society distributes scarce resources and conducts research into things such as inflation, interest rates, employment levels, energy costs, imports, etc. You can do a Bachelor of Commerce General with a major in economics as well, and go on to do honors in economics if that is something that would interest you. Okay, so what can we say about surviving your first year at UKZN as a BCom accounting or business science student? I've already touched on the fact that it's so important that you get your ducks in a row so that you can start the year running. So the first day of the semester of lectures, which is next Monday, you need to have sorted out things like your accommodation, your login details, your university email. You need to have access to Learn. I know that ICS are going to help you with these things this year. You obviously need your student card so that you've got access to campus, to your lectures. We can't stress enough. You must have sorted out your timetable so you know where to go. Your mentors should be able to help you on the first day and show you where your lecture venues are. The importance of attending your lectures, attending your tutorials. We can't emphasize that enough. Students can get into very bad habits of not attending everything or just sporadically attending some of them and not all. You've got to stick to your timetable and you've got to be there. That's 50% of the battle won. If you're sitting in the classroom, because that is where you're going to learn. And it's not just about the content of your modules. Your lecturer is going to say things to you that you're not going to pick up in the notes. And you're going to get a fuller experience by being in the class, with the interaction with your peers, with the questions and answers. People are going to ask questions that you wish you had or you really want to know the answers to as well. And if you're not in that classroom, you're never going to know. So we want you to really commit to attendance right from the word go. It tends to peter out towards the end of a semester. It gets hectic when you've got tests and all you can think about is your next test. So you miss all your classes that day or the previous day. It's not worth it. You can't catch up that material. So please, even if you've got tests, manage your time properly so that you've learned hard enough so that you don't have to miss classes to try and cram your studying in. You can fall into a trap and then you just fall behind and then it's just hard to pull yourself out of that. So it's really important that you attend all the time, even when the going gets tough later on in the semester. And the second most important thing, other than attendance, is asking for help. So I don't know where you are in the orientation program, and I don't know who's been speaking to you, but you've got your whole first year experience module that you're going to be doing as well. You've got your mentors, but UKZN offers you so much support. You've just got to reach out and grab it and ask for it. So there's not only support with your modules, so there'll be academic development officers, there'll be supplemental instruction leaders, there's your lecturers. They're available for you to consult with. They're your tutors. Dr. Hatch, I think, Michelle, have you already spoken to them about the mentorship program, or is that still coming on their program this week?
Shirley, the mentorship program I run, if you recall, it's really for second years upwards. This year they're going to be working with their FYE mentor. Yeah, but I mean, what I can certainly just say is, you know, you will come to me after you next year once you've worked with your FYE mentor this year. And in terms of having a mentor, you need to work with them. And just to repeat what Mrs. Donnelly was saying, we really have so much support at this university. So much. You know, from the lecturers to the tutors to the SI instructors, I think that's the correct terminology, the supplemental instruction instructors, they are all there to help you. And I work very much, as Mrs. Donnelly has said, in that side of supporting students. And I can honestly tell you, there are just fundamental things to doing well and enjoying university. And that is, don't fall behind at the outset, as Mrs. Donnelly said. Go to every single lecture, go to every single tutorial, go to every single SI session that is available. And, you know, you'll probably think to yourself, oh, I know that, or oh, I can read through it in the textbook. Do yourself a favor and just get there, because even if you know the material, there's nothing like that repetition to help you. And I can promise you, even if you know your material brilliantly, you're going to learn something new at every lecture, every tutorial, and it's going to help put the material in your head. And that's really all you need. You need to embrace your work from the outset. You know, I really must say congratulations to all of you. You've chosen great courses. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased coming from the school myself, but they're fantastic courses, but they are demanding. And I can honestly say to you, we are all lecturers in the school, and we work extremely hard to set up an excellent academic program for you, not only in terms of what we deliver in the classroom, but also in ensuring that your tutors are there, you know, that we work alongside your SI instructors. We do everything that we can do to help you succeed and achieve that greatness that is part of our motto at UKZN. But we can only meet you halfway. We need you to meet us, or otherwise, you know, the work that we do, you know, you're not going to benefit from it. And if you do as we ask, you will succeed. Okay, if you come to our lectures, if you come to our tutorials, if you come to the SI sessions, if you work with your mentor, if you complete your timetable, as with Shelley, I'm not sure where you are in your orientation, but at some point you're going to be given an outline of a timetable. It's a blank. Okay, it's got your days of the week, and it's set out according to the module, the lecture periods, and they ask you to, you know, fill in your lectures, fill in your tutorials, fill in your SI sessions, you know, put those down first. Then you've got to set time for work. You have got to sit down at your desk and you've got to study. Now, I know for most of you, you've just left school. It's your first taste of sort of freedom, you know, and that's fantastic. And that is part of being a student, but you have to be disciplined. You have to set aside time to study. You have to work. Okay, because it's in that time of working on your own that you will help yourself learn the material. And most importantly, you'll find out where you're struggling. And that's where you set out the questions that you want to take to your lecturers and your tutors. Okay, and as lecturers, we all have consultation sessions that you need to take advantage of, but come with your questions. Okay, so you need to set your time so that you've got your study, and then you also need to have downtime. Okay, I mean, we're all human. We've all been where you are, trust us. And we know you've got to have downtime. That's also for your mental and your physical health. So also this week, I'm not sure if you've had it yet, but you'll learn about the sports and the activities that are offered at UKZN. And there's some great sports and great activities. And that's where, you know, you'll take care of that other important part of you, which is your mental and physical well-being. That's as important to your academic success as sitting down behind your desk. But you need to set your times. Okay, you can't just do your sport. You can't just do your activities. You're going to have to work. All right. So yeah, so you asked me one simple question, Shelley, and I just came in with that. But it's really just repeating what you have said. The importance of having your ducks in a row from the outset. And, you know, embracing this experience. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic opportunity to come to university in the first place. And you really have chosen a great university. Okay, I was here many, many years ago doing my undergrad and my postgrad, and you have chosen a fantastic university. So embrace that opportunity. Look at what's on offer for you. But, you know, be structured about that. Get that timetable that you will be given at some point, and be ready to go from day one. Okay, and it is busy, it is demanding, but you can do it. you are here. So that's telling you that you are fully capable. Okay, but as I said, you have to meet us halfway. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the work. You have to do everything that you need to do to look after yourself, okay, to ensure that you can succeed. All right. Sorry, just my bit.
And the minute you hit a wobble,
Yeah.
reach out to somebody. Don't let it linger, let it snowball, let it overwhelm you, and then it's too late because now it's exams or whatever. So the minute you hit a stumbling block, there's somebody that will be able to help you. If you're battling with your mental health, we've got student support services. They are fantastic, qualified psychologists. They offer a free service. They're available on your campus. You just need to reach out and make an appointment and talk to somebody. Or you're going to speak to your mentor, or you're going to speak to your peers, or you're going to go and see your lecturer because of something that's bothering you, or if it's content related. Don't let it slide, because these things have a nasty habit of mushrooming and snowballing, and then it's too late. Okay, so please don't let things overtake you. Try and keep up. It's hard, but it's doable, and you don't have to do it on your own. That's the main thing. So it's very different from school. This is just a little illustration. In terms of numbers, you've had that. I know that some of your classrooms at school might have been quite crowded, but relative to what your classes might be here at UKZN, they're vast, especially your first year modules. There's hundreds of students, and that can be intimidating. You've got to somehow find your voice in all of that, and you need to learn to have confidence to ask questions and not be afraid. There's no such thing as a bad question ever. And as lecturers, we really appreciate it when students ask questions. It shows they're engaging. It can lead to a bit of a dialogue between the class and the lecturer. Important things can be learned. So it's very much encouraged, okay, to raise your hand at an appropriate time and ask your questions. You don't have to wait until after the end of the lecture to go and quietly ask the lecturer. Try and find your voice in your lecture venues. I've spoken about the importance of attending all your lectures and tutorials, and be on time. It's incredibly distracting for a lecturer and your tutor and the rest of the class if you slope in late to your lectures or your tuts. It's disrespectful, actually, and it disturbs everybody. So if your lecture, you've got 10 minutes between each of your lectures to get to the next place. Don't linger and chat and what have you. Start walking, get there early, and then when the lecture starts at 10 o'clock sharp or whatever time, you're already there, you're paying attention, and no one's going to get distracted when people come in late. Study from the first day of lectures, get all your ducks in a row, get your textbooks on time. Those will all be made available to you in the course. Every module is going to have a course guide that's going to be posted on Moodle or the Learn page. You're going to learn all about how to access that. The minute you registered for a module, you'll automatically have access to that module's Learn page once the lecturers have populated it with information. And I've spoken about the importance of seeking help the minute you need it. Okay, don't let things linger. Okay, so now it's the question side of things, and I know a lot of people wanted to leave as soon as they thought BCom accounting was over, but the questions side is very important. I have been having a little bit of a check in the chat when Michelle was talking, and students are rightfully asking, what about the foundation students? I'm sorry that I haven't specifically spoken to your first year modules, but those are also, so the first year that I showed you for the mainstream BCom accounting students, that's your second year curriculum, okay? So you fall into the identical first, second, and third years of the mainstream program, but in your second, third, and fourth year. This year, of course, you're doing your foundation modules, and it's very easy to select these because you don't have a choice. There are 5 modules in all. 2 of them are year modules. One is Foundation Maths, Math 194. The other year module is ACCT 1AL, that's Academic Literacy for Commerce. You choose those 2 year modules. Then you choose Econ 1 CO in semester 1. That's Elementary Micro, and Econ 1 DO, which is Elementary Macro, in semester 2. And then your 5th module is something called Management 1 SL. That's a service learning course in semester 2. So those 5 modules, as well as the social justice module, which you can do in either semester, will all be available for selection. You don't have any choices to think about. You just select those 5 and your social justice module as well. And obviously you have to pass your entire foundation year in order to be able to proceed. If you don't, you get excluded from the program. So that's the foundation students, and a very warm welcome to all of you as well. You're going to be using this year to just acclimatize, get yourself, bridge the gap between school and university, and so you can hit the ground running with your first mainstream year next year. So use this year to really come to grips with university life, and you've got that luxury with which the other students don't. So you will be eased into it a lot better. So use the time wisely. There's another student who's talking about being a BCom general, and he's going to major in accounting and finance, and then he wants to be a CA. That's not going to happen with a BCom general. The only route to a CA is the one that I showed you, where you do a BCom accounting. And the only way you're going to study a BCom accounting at UKZN is if you meet the matric entry requirements. So that individual mustn't think that after a few years of BCom general, he can switch to BCom accounting. That will not happen, and you need to know that right now. So if you're set on being a CA and you didn't get into the BCom accounting at UKZN, you should already be looking for alternatives to find another SAICA accredited institution, which perhaps has got lower entry requirements for you. It sounds harsh, but it's true. It's like medicine. If you don't get into medicine, you can't be a doctor. It's the same thing here. If you don't get into BCom accounting out of school, you can't be a CA. Certainly not at UKZN. Okay, so I hope that that's very clear as well. A lot of talk about questions about timetabling. That is happening this week. You are going to be shown. So you will know where to go. Arthi, you're doing a great job of answering all the chats. Is there anything that's coming up a lot that you want to chip in here with?
Morning, everyone. Yes, Shelley, a very common question is around if they're doing BCom General, can they switch over to BCom Accounting? I have put the requirements into both chats and refer them to your slides. That seems to be the most common. And then we've got a lot of questions from our foundation students asking, what about foundation students? Can they also become CAs? And 100%. The third most common question is, where do they find the EDSJ timetable? That, when you go onto the timetables section of the website, you need to click on semester 2 for the campus that you are registered on. And then you need to click on humanities and you will find that module listed there. The same for ACLE 101 as well. So there's a lot of questions around timetables. So I think you are having a session on timetables during your orientation week, where you will be taken through how to select your modules and the timetable website. That's most of the queries, Shelley, the most common queries.
I'm looking at the thank you, Arti. I'm looking at the program, this week's program that I have, and I hope it's the latest, but I see that the 6th of February, which is tomorrow at 10:50, you are being told all about your timetabling. So don't miss a single bit of this program this week. It's going to be, yeah, the BCom General session is after this one. I think it could already be in session from 10:40 till 11:10 on the program. You're going to be introduced to Moodle or Learn tomorrow. You're going to be spoken to about your UKZN emails, the timetable, all sorts of ICS related queries. So that sounds like it will be very useful. And then Friday, you're going to be told about all the student support services that are available, which is also very, very important. Okay, so when have they told you about, yesterday it seems that there was talk about registration. So we're assuming that, and we have been seeing a few registrations coming through to us at the school, registration queries. Basically, as I said, your first year is pretty structured. It's very difficult to make an error. You're just going to choose your 5 modules each semester. The important question for BCom accounting students is whether you select Zulu or ACLE, and I hope I've addressed that sufficiently. Business science, also the 5 modules per semester as well. Your only choices between accounts 102 and 103, and I suggested you select 103. And all of you must select the ESJD, the gender-based violence module, which is an online module, although I believe there are tutorials as well. I don't know if they're in person. Are they?
Shelley, last year it was held online, but I do see that it is timetabled. It does appear on the timetable.
I think the tutorials are in person after hours.
Yeah, I've sent the links to the students in the chat and the Q&A session. The other questions that we are getting is around textbook. So my advice to students is to please attend all your lectures in the first week. Your lectures will give you a course outline, or they will take you through the course and tell you exactly which textbooks you are required to purchase. So there's no list of textbooks available for every course. You need to attend your lectures next week, and then you will find out what textbooks are being prescribed. You only need to purchase textbooks that are prescribed. There are also textbooks available in our library as well. And you can access hard copies of those textbooks and ebooks as well, but there are very few copies available. So it is limited to a certain number, and you can refer to them when you are in the library, but you will only be required to purchase your prescribed textbooks. That was a query around textbooks. The other question we got was around timetables. A lot of students are asking about ACLE 101. Remember to click semester 2, please, when you are looking for that timetable. And
I'm seeing that there's a lot of concern. Sorry, just jumping in here because we've all got to go quite soon. Is the foundation, accounting foundation program psych accredited? Absolutely. Your years 2, 3, and 4 are identical to the BCom accounting years 1, 2, and 3. You've just got the extra year up front. So yes, your journey is an 8-year journey as opposed to a 7-year journey, but you end up at the same point. Okay. I just wanted to give that reassurance.
Other questions?
Sorry to interrupt. And they're
Sorry.
asking about laptops as well, and I assume that that is also going to be handled tomorrow which is mostly about ICS. What's ICS? Our department.
Information and communication services.
Information and communication services. That's all going to pretty much happen tomorrow. So tomorrow
And the
seems
last
to be a very
period, Shirley,
important
is
day.
about tutorials. Students are concerned that they have 4 TACs in the timetable, and they're wondering how they're going to sit through 4 periods for tutorials. When you attend lectures next week, your lecturers will explain whether you need to attend 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of those periods. And then you are going to be allocated to your TACs. They are smaller groups in smaller venues. And you'll probably have to sign up for a group, or you will be given a link, or the administrator will allocate you to a session. So please attend your lectures, because a lot of these questions are going to be answered by your lectures next week. So as a priority, rather do your timetable and attend the first week of lectures so that you can find out about tutorials next week.
There's a student who says, I'm doing BCom in accounting, but I have 11 modules instead of 8, and I don't know how to fix it. You're supposed to have 11. You're certainly not supposed to have 8. You've got 5 modules per semester, plus the ESDJ or whatever it is module. So you will have 11, Isinako. Somebody again is asking about the module for BCom Accounting Extended Curriculum for the first semester. Just remember there are 5 of them, and you don't have a choice. So just click all of them and then choose the Criminal Social Justice module as well in one of your semesters. And no, not everybody gets laptops, only the NSFAS funded students, unfortunately. Colleagues, the 3 of us have to, students, the 3 of us have to go now. We have another session with our returning students. We will come back online if there are more questions towards the end of this morning's session. But thank you so much for joining us. And we just wish you everything of the best, and we hope to see you really soon. So good luck. Thanks and goodbye.
Hi, everyone. Good luck.
Students, thank you so much for joining today's session. We apologize for that slight confusion, but I do understand that there are some questions that have been raised regarding timetables and everything else. These will be addressed in tomorrow's session. I did send the link on the chat box during this session, where you will be helped and assisted with your emails, your introduction to Moodle, your timetables, and all the other ICS related issues. So please do join tomorrow's session, where we will be able to assist you in your questions or whatever issues that you might have. If you did miss the chat box communication, you can still go onto our website and do RSVP for tomorrow's session. Or alternatively, you can just go onto our Facebook page. It's UKZN CLMS, UKZN Colleges of Law and Management Studies, where you will see the post and just click on the link to RSVP for tomorrow's session. Nonetheless, this is the end, and thank you so much for joining us today.